So, Melina, what are you doing today? Well, I am sharpening my chainsaw because we're going out to work. I'm going to show you a little bit how I do it. You can sharpen the chainsaw in many ways, but the way I do it is a little bit freestyling. This chain is meant for cutting through trunks, perpendicular. If you are riving trunks on the length of yours, you need a chain. It's called a riven chain, and that means that the teeth on it are filed in a 10-degree angle. But that's rare that you need that. As a normal garden uh, little homesteader thing, normally you would be cutting trunks like that for firewood and then splitting the firewood with an axe, not with the saw. So I'm going to cut up a big trunk today. So that chain that you need that for needs to have the teeth sharpened at an angle of 30 degrees. Now, I have learned it on the forest school, so I know approximately what 30 degrees is, and I am doing it freehand. What you need to do is to get, I don't know if I can get you any closer, is to get your file in here and lift it up a little bit. You're going to lift it up so that this edge here will be sharp. It's a bit difficult to show it, but those of you who have a chainsaw, you know what I'm talking about. And you go only one way when you sharpen, and you give it 3 or 4 good sharp ones, and then you draw the chain to the next tooth. 1, 2, 3. You'll see a little bit of steel iron come off, little specks coming off, and that's fine. That's what is supposed to look like. You draw the chain, you take the next tooth, and I know that there are 13 teeth in each direction on this chain, so I normally count it. But talking to you, I lost count. But this is the idea of how you do it. And what you do when you have done all those in one direction is turn the saw around, because there are teeth that turn the opposite way. And instead of going over here and going backwards, I turn the saw so I always go forward in that motion. When you have done all of the teeth, you have these that are called, well, they're called the writers or the knights in Danish. I don't remember what they're called in English, but they are to protect the teeth from going too deep into the wood. If they were not there, then these teeth would bury down into the wood several millimeters, and the saw would be very difficult to control, and it would jump and get stuck. And so you have these writers here to make the teeth go in only the distance that is between the roof of those and the tooth. These are a little bit lower than the teeth. But when you sharpen the teeth and you use the chain and they get dull, you sharpen them again, they actually get a bit lower because they are tilted a little bit. So the more they get worn out here out at the end, the lower they get. And then these riders are too tall, and then your teeth won't bite into the wood. So you have to file these down as well. And for that purpose, you have a flat file that you just file them down a little bit. So that's the work I got to do first. I've had taken the saw apart. I have cleaned her all the way inside. so there's not all the debris and cluttered up sawdust with oil and snesk, as we would say in Danish, all kinds of gooey stuff. That has been cleaned out, and now I only need to clean the teeth for her and the riders, so we can get going. And then I will see you out there. Just a minute. Out here we are. Start running. So what you just saw, or you didn't see much of it, but what I just did was to cut pieces that were 14 inches or 35 centimeters. And that is because I need pieces for my kitchen stove, and that takes the 14 inches. My living room stove takes 12 inches or 30 centimeters. And of course the 30 centimeters, I have a lot of them. Of course they can go into the kitchen stove as well. But what you do when you put it in is that you put it further and further in the back. So in the kitchen stove, if those 2 inches are missing, they're missing out here in the front. And that means that it burns hotter in the back, which means that the oven is very hot in the back and not in the front. So to get a more even heat that goes all the way into the oven next to it, I like to use 14 inches, 35 centimeters, because they fill out the whole length of the burn chamber, and thereby giving a more even heat. So what I have done now, I'm just going to turn you around. Not with my gloves on, obviously. Is that I have cut the initial cuts into the trunk here. This is a tree that fell down a few years back, and as you can see, I have already shaved the bark off of it a year ago, I think, and it's just been lying out here. So I made the initial cuts, and I did not cut all the way through when I was out here. and that's because it's so close to the ground. I don't want my chain to get into the dirt and the ground and the snow. So I just cut initially until I went up all the way up here where I had elevated it a bit, and I could cut all the way through. So I've cut this piece through, and what I can do with that is I can turn it around a bit, put it up a little bit higher. I can drag it over here, put it up a bit higher, and then finish the cuts. So I have these pieces. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 pieces maybe that I'll get from that. And that will be split into maybe 6 pieces. So we got 60 pieces of there is for a day or two. And why are we doing that today? We're doing it today and tomorrow because after that it is going to be so cold that I won't find it fun to be out here working. We're just going to be indoors most of the time, if not out walking. But I'm going to cut this one up today, and I'm going to split it over there on the Kluvela, den Ville. And we're going to get it in. This does not need to lie out for a year more to season. I don't believe it will, but I will split it into very small pieces so that it can dry out indoors. And that has to do. If I find that it is too wet or too moist still, then that is not what I'm gonna be using this year. Then I'm just gonna have to save it for next year. What are you finding down there? What are you finding down there? It's fun to still be able to dig in the half frozen soil. Oh, that was the best stick in the world, was it? Yeah, you had to get that one out because there are no other sticks around, so you had to dig one out. Yeah, you had to dig one out. Good girl. Can I start the saw again? No, Mom, you cannot. I don't like the saw. I hate it. Well, she's out here with me, and I can saw because she keeps her distance. But when I start up the saw, she kind of barks, and she doesn't like it. But I'm not taking down any trees. If I'm taking down trees with the risk of something falling down, she, of course, is not allowed to be out here. But when I'm sawing like this and she just keeps her distance, and she does, then there's no danger to her and no danger to me. So we're just going to continue with our little saw project today. And we wish you all a very happy day, wherever you are. Yeah, you happy? You're so happy. You happy? You say goodbye to people? Yeah, you want to say goodbye? And you just want to have your stick? You just want your stick. Okay. I'm just going to go over here and chew it because that's better. Okay, say bye. Good. Bye-bye, everyone. See you on the next one.